Hi everyone, so today I'm here with my review of Uninvited by Sophie Jordan. So when I saw that I was able to get this from Edelweiss, I honestly started jumping around. Uninvited was one of those books that I was dying to get my hands on last year, so I wasn't going to pass up the opportunity to be able to get an e-arc copy and be able to read it ASAP. Ever since I read the synopsis, I knew I was going to love this book. I mean, a world where they test for the kill gene is going to be pretty awesome. Uninvited didn't let me down. In fact, it completely surpassed my expectations. I was just completely blown away by this book. The world that Sophie Jordan created in this book was just so fucked up. I'm sorry, but there's literally no other way I could describe it. But that's why I loved it so much. It was such a screwed up and twisted world, and it just drew me in, and I had to know what was going to happen. What made this one for me though was because I could actually imagine something like this happening in the future. It's not that far-fetched of an idea, and when you start reading it and finding out what they do, it's something that scientists could actually determine with genetics, and that's pretty terrifying. So this book follows our main character, Davy. Davy was the girl who had it all. She was super smart, except for when it came to calculus, because it's calculus and it's hard. She could play like 4 or 5 different instruments perfectly from the second she picked them up, no teaching required. And she had the perfect popular boyfriend. But Davy's perfect life is ripped away when she finds out she tested positive for HTS, the kill gene. I felt so bad for Davy when she found out she had the kill gene. Davy is one of the sweetest and kindest characters ever. She's so naive, and she's been kept in her little perfect bubble in her perfect world, and it was really hard for me seeing her thrust into this dangerous and dark world, and I really did feel for her. At first Davy didn't want to deal with what was happening, and she didn't want to accept her label, but gradually Davy learned to cope with what was happening to her and realised that she couldn't hide it. But she was determined not to let the fact that she had the kill gene ruin her life, and she became a stronger and more courageous character gradually throughout the book. Sean was a major part of helping Davy come to terms with her label. He was the one that helped her understand that she couldn't let it rule her life and she had to start living again. Sean is such a sweetheart. Sure, he looks like a bad boy and he gets into a lot of fights, but that's just the type of guy Sean is. Although we're told some things about Sean's background, we're never told what he did to get his tattoo. I'm still really curious to find out what led to him getting the branding tattoo. I'm hoping it's something to do with the fact that he was reacting in self-defense, because that's what I would like to believe. I don't want to find out that he's a serial murderer or he likes killing people or something. I don't think I could deal with that, so I'm going to live in my own fantasy world and right now, because we don't know, and I'm going to go with the fact that he acted in self-defense because I like Sean. Sean is such a strong and powerful character. He's got a presence that makes people feel safe, but he also gives off this really scary vibe which helps protect his friends because no one else will come near him, and it's a very useful thing. There was a bit of romance in this book, and I have to say it was needed in this book. It was such a dark world and a bit of light was required. And that light came from Davy and Sean. They would both do anything to protect each other. Although it took a while for them to actually become friends, their friendship and their relationship was perfect. There wasn't even a mention of the word love between the two of them, which made me cheer. And I just lost myself in their moments together because it was the only bright spot in this book. The way the HTS characters in this world are treated was horrendous. They were basically treated like rabid animals, locked away in cages, and people could do anything to them and no one even batted an eye. Some of the things the carriers would do to gain protection made my stomach churn. Throughout the book, the government were constantly calling for tighter measures to keep control of the carriers, and the methods they were coming up with it was basically locking them away in camps and prisons and basically not even letting them out to interact with normal people because they had the kill gene, and obviously if they had the kill gene their definitely going to go out and kill someone. Sophie Jordan created such a dark and cruel world where people were labelled as murderers before they'd even had the chance to live their lives and determine how they wanted to live them, so they never got a chance. There were some truly twisted people in this book that made me sick. They had no remorse when it came to murdering or hurting others, and they even got off on other people's pain. So there was a part of me that was kind of glad that these people had been tested and locked up, but there was another part of me that was thinking there are a lot of people who are locked up along with these psychos who are nothing like them. So the system was definitely faulty. Also, the lengths the people who were in control went to keep control of the carriers were horrible as well. What they made Davy do was horrific, and I hope they all burn for it. This dark and cruel world is what I've been craving from a dystopian novel. It was so fresh and different, and I loved every single part of it, even the horrific moments, because they're what made this book so freaking awesome. The ending gave me a bit of hope, and I am dying to see what's going to happen in the second book. I seriously doubt things are going to run smoothly in the second one, and I'm really looking forward to that bumpy ride and to find out what's going on. Overall, Uninvited has been one of the best books I have ever read, ever, and quite possibly the best dystopian book I've ever read. This one I'm pretty sure is going to end up on my favourites of 2014 as well. And I've already pre-ordered myself my own copy, and it's on its way, so I will soon have that pretty and freaking awesome book on my shelf. Uninvited's got a 5 out of 5 stars from me, and it's one that I'm going to definitely be recommending as soon as it comes out, because everyone has to read this book because it's just amazing. So that was my review for Uninvited by Sophie Jordan. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys later. Bye everyone.